Memorable Liverpool wins in European Cup last 16. With Liverpool set to enter the knockout rounds of the Champions League this week, we take a look back at 10 of their best wins at this stage of the competition. Arne Slot's Reds meet French champions Paris Saint-Germain in the last 16, traveling to Parc des Princes on Wednesday night and hosting the return at Anfield next Tuesday. There have been some memorable games for Liverpool in the round before the quarter-finals over the years. Here are some of our favorites. Liverpool 3-0 Anderlecht, November 1964. A significant occasion, above and beyond what was also a handsome result. Having passed through a pre-qualifying round, this match was the club's debut in European competition proper. And for the first time, the Reds were a bit more red, manager Bill Shankly having had the brainwave of matching the team's shorts to the color of their shirts, in a move he believed would make his players even more imposing. Whether the kit had an impact or not, Liverpool rose to the task. Belgium's champions were beaten courtesy of goals from Ian St. John, Roger Hunt and Ron Yates. Athletic Club 0-1 Liverpool, November 1983. On a previous visit to Bilbao, 15 years earlier, Liverpool had been turned over 2-1 by the hosts. This time at San Mamés, they were going to need something much better, with the sides having played out a goalless stalemate at Anfield in Leg 1. Commanded by captain Graham Souness in the middle of the park, Joe Fagan's team delivered a display that ensured Athletic Club hardly managed a snarl on their own ground, per David Lacey writing in The Guardian. A vital victory on the road to an eventual fourth European Cup was secured by a single goal midway through the second half, Ian Rush dispatching a downward header from Alan Kennedy's right-footed. Bayer Leverkusen 1-3 Liverpool, March 2005. A dramatic swing of Steven Gerrard's right boot had sent new boss Rafael Benitez's Reds into the 2004-05 Champions League knockout stage. Yet after the thrilling finish against Olympiacos at Anfield, there was much more serene passage through their last 16 meeting with Bayer Leverkusen. A 3-1 home victory in the opening match had given Liverpool a decent edge in the tie, but some may still have been haunted by a fatal 4-2 defeat at the Bay Arena in the quarter-finals 3 years earlier as they returned to the west of Germany. Such fears, if there were any, soon proved unfounded. Luis Garcia netted in minutes 28 and 32 to open up a big aggregate lead, and Milan Barros increased it even further during the second half. Barcelona 1-2 Liverpool, February 2007. After being dumped out of the last 16 by Benfica as reigning champions a year earlier, Benitez's men were paired with the latest holders, 2006 winners Barcelona, next time they reached the knockouts. The hosts boasted a wealth of star names, including Deco, Lionel Messi, Ronaldinho and Xavi Hernandez, and the first of those headed them in front with just 14 minutes on the clock at Camp Nou. But Liverpool dusted themselves down and began to show their own class, Craig Bellamy bringing them level on the evening 2 minutes before the interval. The Welshman then assisted John Arne Risa to thrash home a finish in the second half and hand the Reds a 2-1 win that kickstarted their run to the tournament's final in Athens that season. Irony was lost on nobody. The visitors' 2-goal scorers, and a golf club, had been the key protagonists of swirling reports of an altercation within Benitez's camp on the eve of the fixture. Liverpool 2-0 Internazionale, February 2008. Liverpool's second-placed finish in the group stage of 2007-08 left them vulnerable to the challenge of facing a group winner in the round of 16. And the draw wasn't favourable to them, pitting the Reds against the dominant Serie A team of the time, Internazionale, who had advanced to the knockouts with 5 wins from 6 games and were halfway through a streak of 5 consecutive domestic titles. The task for Benitez's team should in theory have been eased when defender Marco Materazzi was sent off for the visitors just 30 minutes into the Anfield opening leg, but the nut remained extremely difficult to crack. However, a rousing finale saw Dirk Kuyt finally find a breakthrough goal in front of the Kop, one that was swiftly followed by a trademark Gerrard strike, dragged low into the left corner from the edge of the box. Fernando Torres' goal at San Siro 3 weeks later would wrap a 3-0 aggregate win. Real Madrid 0-1 Liverpool, February 2009. Until recent years, European competition had somehow rarely brought two of its frequent winners, Liverpool and Real Madrid, together. Indeed, the Reds' first ever visit to the Santiago Bernabéu did not arrive until February 2009, for the opening leg of a Champions League knockout tie. Benitez, a former Real player, remained at the helm and masterminded a classic 1-0 away win that put his team in control at the halfway stage. The thorough tactician probably could not have predicted quite how the goal would materialize, though. 8 minutes from the end, nimble midfielder Yossi Benayoun met a free kick delivery with a sweet, glanced header to win the night. Liverpool 4-0 Real Madrid, March 2009. So good, so emphatic was Liverpool's performance across this tie, that we have to include the second leg of the 2009 showdown with Real 2. Where the win in Spain ticked all the boxes for what you would want from an away European display, the return was trademark Liverpool under the lights at Anfield. With Gerrard and Torres especially ignited after fitness issues had limited their impact in match 1, and the latter's Atletico Madrid connections only further fanning his flames, the Reds swarmed over Real. Torres opened the floodgates 16 minutes in, followed by 2 goals from Gerrard either side of half-time, and the delicious cake's icing on the stroke of full-time was delivered by substitute Andrea Dossena. FC Porto 0-5 Liverpool, February 2018. Liverpool's first Champions League knockout match for almost 9 years could barely have gone any better. Jurgen Klopp's progressive Reds side showed Porto absolutely no love with a 5-0 rout on their own turf, where they had only lost once all season, on Valentine's Day. Sadio Mané was the star of the show by scoring a hat-trick at Estadio do Dragão, with his treble weaved around supplementary efforts from fellow attackers Mohamed Salah and Roberto Firmino. It was an emphatic beginning of a run through the knockout rounds that would take Liverpool all the way to the final in Kyiv. Bayern Munich 1-3 Liverpool, March 2019. After the Reds and Bayern Munich contested a rather tepid goalless draw at Anfield in the first leg of their 2019 face-off, consensus suggested the Bundesliga giants were favourites to go on and progress. But Klopp's men delivered a commanding performance inside the Allianz Arena that the manager later hailed as a fantastic sign that we again set a mark for LFC, for this wonderful club, that we really are back on the landscape of international, top-class football. A deft touch, turn and finish from Maine gave the visitors a precious away goal during the first half, the Senegalese turning a long ball from Virgil van Dijk into a stunning solo effort. And though Bayern were briefly level as a result of a Joel Matip own goal, Liverpool surged clear as Van Dijk powered in a second-half header and Maine converted again from Salah's outside of the boot pass. Internazionale 0-2 Liverpool, February 2022. Liverpool wrapped up a perfect group stage in 2021-22 with a 2-1 win over AC Milan at San Siro, their 6th victory out of 6 en route to the last 16. And the draw set up a return straight back to the iconic Italian venue, but this time to face its other residents, Inter. Reminiscent of the aforementioned 2008 first leg, the sides were locked in stalemate heading towards the final stages of the opening meeting. Continuing the similarities, the Reds found a way not once but twice before the end, Firmino breaking the deadlock with a headed effort from a 75th-minute corner and Salah doubling the advantage soon after. The salvo would turn out to be decisive, with Klopp's team going on to advance despite a 1-0 defeat in the return on Merseyside.